Hello and welcome back to my review of books. So this time we have Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. Overall, this is a very good book. But before I get into the actual review, like with Six of Crows, as it is a standalone duology that takes place in the same world as the Shadow and Bone trilogy, I have written down references and crossover characters from the trilogy that appear in this duology. So for this book, we have 6 things. We hear from, in the first chapter, we hear that King Nikolai has been handing out pardons to other Grisha that were part of the Darklings' army against the Radkin throne. Just handing out pardons to help rebuild and recreate the second army. We hear talk about Genya, who is one of the Grisha Triumvirate and is an incredibly high up and important Grisha. She is said to be greatly skilled with poison, which was seen and shown in the original trilogy, but which just now talked about. We have David, who is another one of the Grisha Triumvirate, is said to be an extremely skilled creator and inventor of weapons, which was also shown in the original trilogy, and it's just now being talked about again. Genya could have been either a heartrender or a fabricator, which is incredibly interesting for Grisha overall, because that shows how similar their powers and how much overlap there are between the different factions and categories of Grisha. Being able to, a heartrender and fabricator are always were shown as very different, but the fact that Genya could have been either of those things shows how closely tied all of the Grisha's powers are. Matthias and Nina have a very long debate. I think it's a page and a half in the book, about Alina Starkov, who of course is the main character of the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and if she was a saint or just a very powerful Grisha, or if that is just the same thing. And yeah, that just kind of happens. They talk about the character and her being a martyr when she was I believe 16 or something. And yeah. And then for our last thing, Zoya, Genya, and the privateer, Strummond, I think. Strummand. So I pronounce that as Strummond. Anyway, he is the privateer alias for King Nikolai. So Zoya, Genya, and King Nikolai are all integral characters to the actual plot of this book. That's all the direct references in this book. Now I'll get into the actual review of this book. So I think this book is very good. I think its characters are I think the main 6 of this duology of Kaz, Brecker, Inej Gaffa, Jesper Fahe, Nina Zenik, Matthias Helver, and Wylan Vanek are some of the best written characters I have read in any book series ever. I think these characters are absolutely amazing, and I really want to read more of them. And I really hope we do get another book with these characters at some point in the future. These characters are just very interesting. I think this book, in terms of ranking, I think I have to put it above Six of Crows, because this book dives into detail into the interpersonal relationships of all the characters. I think a lot deeper than the first one, especially with characters like Wylan, who did not get a perspective at all in the first book. We get his perspective a lot in this book. And I think with the whole book being set strictly in the city of Ketterdam is not a hindrance in the slightest. I think that helps flesh out and helps with the world building and makes the city feel more realistic because of how in-depth it is and how fleshed out the city is, because that's the location of the entire book. They don't leave the city at all. So it's like, it is the location, which is why it's so detailed and so in-depthly fleshed out, which helps it feel not necessarily realistic, but helps you be more immersed in the story. And then we get like so much with Kaz. Kaz has a lot of character growth. I think all the characters have a lot of growth. I plan in the future to at some point also go back and like fully analyze the books. I don't want to like talk about and spoil everything necessarily, just like my review and my thoughts. Overall, I think this book is very, very good. In the overall ranking, I have to put it, I think, first right now. I think it just edges out Six of Crows because we get the Wyland perspective and we get to see all six crows. And unlike the first book, Six of Crows being about one big heist, that being like getting Queel out of the ice court, this book is so many like little mini heists that all kind of culminate together. You have the opening heist at the lawyer's, like Cornelius Smeat's house. You have a heist to get the Wyland stepmom. You have like all these different heists all happening at once, and there's so many more players. I think a line from Hunger Games was really all I kept thinking about the entire year of this book. That is not necessarily triggered from Hunger Games, but I swear I know it from, is moves and counter moves, which is something that President Snow says, and Plutarch Heavensbee, I believe, actually might say that to Snow in at least the movie of Hunger Games Catching Fire. And I think that's just an amazing line, but we're not talking about that right now. But that's all I could think about for this book. It's Kaz Brekker and Jan Van Eyck just doing moves and counter moves. Jan takes an edge, Kaz takes alls. That's what the whole thing is, and it's amazing. The psychology of these characters and the in-depthness of these characters genuinely are some of the best written characters I have ever read in any book series ever. Even the characters I've seen like in other media. I think these characters are better than some, like, more in-depth than I feel like people in real life even are. These characters are absolutely amazing, and I desperately want more of them. Which of course I have not read the books that take place after this, but I am aware that Nina is one of the main characters in the next duology, so I know we'll get more of her. Of course, as anybody who's read the book knows, we will not be getting more Matthias, as he does die in this book. Although personally, I think there might be, I feel like there's going to be a way around that or something. I don't know. His death is very sudden and unexpected, which I understand that is the point, because the whole point is these characters are teenagers. They are not the best they can possibly be. That is the whole point why the assassin Dunyasha is introduced in this book in the first place. Is so that you can show that Inej, while Inej is amazing at being the wraith and like sneaking around and doing all these kind of things, she is not the best. She ends up winning against Dunyasha later on, but that's because that's after she already got beat very badly by Dunyasha before. And I get that the whole point is to show that these characters, while being incredibly good, especially when they're working all together, and that they can accomplish a lot of what they want to do, they are still all teenagers. I believe when we're told the ages in the previous book, they're all either between 15 and 18 years old, Matthias being the only 18-year-old. So they are all still children. I think this is maybe I think it's a week later. So it's the same age. So Matthias being the oldest and dying, it is sudden, but that is kind of the point. I understand that. I do definitely, we don't really get to see a lot of the characters' reactions. We get to see their immediate reactions. We don't get to see their, like, emotional impacts later on. Because I think he dies in chapter 40, like 39 or 40. And then there's only 45 chapters of the entire book. So we get to see, like, their immediate, like, sadness and grief. But we don't get to, like, fully explore how his death affects the other characters, which hopefully is something that is explored in depth with Nina in the coming books. But I think overall this book is absolutely amazing. I cannot recommend it enough to anybody who likes any sort of like fantasy or heist or like very character driven story. I feel like you would like this book. I don't I don't really know who would not like it. I can't think of anyone who would not find this book engaging unless you're someone who like only reads like nonfiction. Then you wouldn't like it because it's a fiction book. But anyone who reads any fiction like of any kind, I feel like you would enjoy this, whether that be mystery and action and adventure, a heist book, character driven books, any sort of thing. I feel this is good. This could work for anybody. But I think this book is amazing. Unfortunately I wanted to get this review up sooner. I just wanted to talk about this really quick. Unfortunately I got some water damage to the book. Not terrible. Like you can still read it, but I don't know if you can tell very well, but there is some water damage to these back pages, which is very unfortunate. I've been trying to like keep it flat and like put like other heavy books on top of it to like try to flatten it out. It's not really working. It's probably permanent damage, but it should, like, it's okay and it's still readable, so I'm not upset. I mean, I am upset, but I'm okay with it because it is still readable. It could have been a lot worse. But moving on to the next books. So for our next book, and to just kind of wrap up this review, we have the King of Scars. This is the next duology by Leigh Bardugo. So I have not read this before. I have not read these two books before, but I do know that they follow Nikolai, Zoya, and Nina. That's all I know. Like, I know the titular King of Scars is in reference to Nikolai. So that is all I know. So I'm assuming we're going to get some of the Nina grief for Matthias. But that's all I really know. I can't think of anything that's going to happen in the book that I could think of. Hopefully we get more of the Strumund or Sturmund or whatever his name is, the pirate, because I really enjoy the pirate side of Nikolai. I do think there is potential that we could see a Nej, because Inej's indentures, everything is paid off. We know that she's going to get her boat to go be a pirate to hunt slavers. But we also know that she wants to go to Ravka and meet with, like, the royal court and everything to, like, talk about their treatment of the Suli, which is like her people. So I would be interested in that for sure, and hopefully we do get that, because Inej, I think, is my favorite character. I really like Inej. But yeah, that is all I have for now. Let me know in the comments if you've read those books, and if you have, then who is your favorite of the crows? And honestly, just rank all the crows in the comments for me. I'm looking for more engagement on my videos, and haven't really gotten a whole lot of comments other than just like talking about looking at the camera more and everything, which is what I'm trying to do now. But yeah, that's all I have for you now. So I will see you all next time.